This was my first ride on this KTM 690. It's 2014 that someone else had put the Kit690 kit on it, and this uses the 450 RFR tanks and fairing, and also the rear tank, low exhaust, all that stuff from the older generation of RFRs, so not the last generation trellis frames, 2 generations ago, like the 2012-ish time frame bikes. I do a lot of roadbook rally stuff, and the 450 frames for all day on the bike are pretty short to me, and I love racing my 990, as anyone who watches my videos will know, and I wanted a bike that fit like the 990 but felt like the 450 in terms of weight. So the 690 seemed like a decent opportunity, and this popped up, and I figured I'd give it a try. Worst comes to worst, I could always sell it and go back to the 450 or find a real RFR or something should my finances ever allow that. But I picked the bike up. I'd been out here riding. I did the Mint 400 on this trip, and then met the heavy enduro guys out here and did a bunch of riding on the 990. And at this point, I had some nerve pain in my shoulder and back that I later found out was a herniated disc that I'd re-aggravated. So I was being a little bit gentle and also trying to get used to this bike that had 30 psi in adventure tires. It's 250 mil suspension travel bike, so it doesn't really have any ground clearance because the exhaust is also a low exhaust, unlike the stock 690 setup. So I'm trying not to bottom it out on stuff, trying not to drag that carbon fiber skid plate on everything. And if the forks got within the bottom inch or so of their travel, the front tire would hit the skid plate, and that's not great. It was a pretty aggressive interference, so I was doing everything I could to prevent that from happening. So also electronic throttle bike, which is a little bit odd. Something I don't necessarily like about these, but so far it's been fine, and I've actually raced the bike now, so I know it can handle it. I've got some time on it, because this happened 6+ months ago now, so I've done a lot of work to the bike since then. It is now fully stretched out to 300 mil travel and everything else, but for this ride it was still short travel, stock, pretty much everything. Slightly stiffer spring. It was like a 9.2 spring in the back, which is not stiff enough, and maybe 5.56s or something in the forks, also not stiff enough. We're talking about a bike that holds 9 gallons of fuel. Tires were Motaz Tractionator Adventures, which are, any tire's fine on the slick rock, right? But not super confidence inspiring. Not really my favorite tires for sand or anything else. I'm a put an MX-33 on everything kind of guy for the most part. So overall, just getting used to the bike and enjoying my last day in Moab here after everyone had left, and trying to figure out, writing down, hey, this is what I need to do to fix on this bike and make it actually fit me. So it had some interesting handlebars on it, and it had a really tall steering damper mount that you couldn't get into the attack position on this bike. You couldn't do it. And so when I rode it out here, I was really worried that this bike wasn't going to fit the bill, this bike that I just spent way too much money on, and wouldn't be a good rally bike for me. Since then, I have fixed some of the foot peg geometry, so putting the KTM rally pegs on it, and putting the lowest steering damper and the lowest bars and all that stuff on it, trying to make the rider cockpit fit me, because I'm 6'3", 6'4", and it's actually proven to be pretty good. The length of the rider triangle on the 690 is about the same as the 990 is, and that's information that's hard to come by on the internet for some reason. Where the 450, my 2017 FX 450, is 3 inches shorter horizontally between the pegs and the bars. So really excited to build this platform and see what it can do.